All right, welcome back to the Veterinary Ledger podcast, where veterinary leaders come to learn, grow, and master the business side of practice ownership. We're powered by Granite Peak Veterinary Advisors, and our goal is simple. We want to help you understand your numbers, maximize profit, and build lasting freedom within your practice. Excited today to have on the CEO of Rhino Facilities, Andrew Diner. Andrew, thanks for joining the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
I think you can do a better introduction than we can on yourself. So tell us, what does Rhino Facilities do? How do you serve the veterinary community?
Sure. I could just kind of go into my background a little bit first, I think. So I started in the veterinary field about 17, 18 years ago. Started cleaning kennels. Was in the Marine Corps prior to that. Didn't know what to do with my life. And started volunteering at a rescue cleaning kennels. From there, they had a little medical department there. And I was like, oh, that seems kind of cool. Let me check that out. So giving vaccines and things like that, still a volunteer. They ended up hiring me on at that rescue. And from there, I just kind of ran with it as far as veterinary medicine goes. Was hired on as a day practice for some time and then went into emergency medicine for about 9 years or so. Was an overnight technician for a very long time. Learned a lot, learned the business. From there, actually, a corporation acquired one of the locations I was working at. And I was just kind of that squeaky wheel. I was like, you guys acquired us, and the ceiling's falling in, the paint, we don't even have your logos, and you're just that squeaky wheel. Until I didn't know it was an interview, but the COO asked to meet with me on just like what I've been doing, because I ended up having the place painted, having the ceilings done, everything that was broken, all the medical equipment was broken, but I got it, up to speed. Had a meeting with her on just what I was doing. And then about 15 minutes later, she sent me an offer letter for a facilities role of one. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no clue, but I knew I didn't really I wanted to work in the industry, but I didn't want to be on the floor anymore. I didn't want to be in the mix of all that. So it was an opportunity to support the industry without actually being in the hospital. So I sat at my house. The corporation had multiple locations scattered throughout the country. So I had to form a facilities department, build a network, get all these vendors, figure everything out. And I have a construction background of like jack of all trades, master of none. But so that's kind of where the facilities part launched as far as veterinary medicine and facilities related things, and also equipment repair. Worked there for a while, got them from about 8 hospitals to about 64 hospitals. I left there and went to another corporation where I built specialty hospitals. I was a construction project manager for about 3 years and built 30,000 square foot hospitals. During that time, I was at the other place. A few people that I was with at the other corporation came with me to build out Rhino Facilities. So we realized that there's a huge gap in the industry for facility equipment repair, and actually having a standard on what should be actually done, how many times a year your anesthesia machines should be worked on, your autoclaves, all the things that we know weren't getting done. We're like, why doesn't the rest of the industry have it? Let me backtrack a little bit. While I was trying to build out the facilities department for the original company, I was trying to find somebody. I'm like, there has to be a company that specializes in veterinary facility maintenance, equipment repair on a national scale. Come to find out, there was none, zero. So that's when in Rhino Facilities was born about 4 years ago. Yeah. And since then, we have been able to bring that standard to the industry as far as just having the knowledge, having the ability to have a hospital manager call one of our facility operation managers. And we know the stress level when HVAC goes down, when the roof is leaking, when their surgery light is out, when their dental machine doesn't work. All of those things brings massive amount of stress onto the team. Our model is really built to assist the hospital manager. Hospital managers are hired in our industry to make sure that their team is good, to make sure clients are happy, to make sure pets are getting properly cared for. What ends up happening is they're stretched directions, and it's stressful. It's stressful for them. Retaining hospital managers is a huge thing in our industry because they get thrown so much stuff. So our model is built to help them. What we created is a ticketing system. So they're able to scan a QR code and they're able to get us immediately, basically. It's like 20 to 30 minutes, depending on severity of the issue. But somebody is watching our ticket system 24/7. And then we're able to pull that issue from the hospital manager, get one of our network vendors on site to fix their issue. Um, we do a lot of larger corporations, but we also have mom and pops as well that we care for. We're currently at around 1,500 locations that we oversee on a daily, and more coming. We're really just trying to build our team in order to bring that white glove service, we call it. Um, Keep that white glove service as we grow, I think I should say. So,
Yeah, what
yeah.
a huge benefit of that is. So, but how does that work? Because if, I mean, 1,400 locations, are we in or close to all 50 states where you can service practices?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of find that the heat map is kind of the same throughout every corporation. You're like South Dakota, North Dakota. We really don't touch much there because there's not a lot of large corporations there. Obviously, heavily saturated in the East Coast, California, Texas is a big one for us, Florida. But yeah, we're in every state. We get stuff everywhere. Seattle, we're in Seattle quite a bit as well. Or
That's
Washington,
awesome. So if
Washington's. Yeah,
I'm a practice owner, I have, one location, or maybe I have a couple locations. Your team can now be my point of contact. So I don't have to, I have a leaky roof. I don't have to
yeah,
worry about servicing or finding someone local to me. You find it, you get it repaired.
yeah.
And what's the next steps from there? How involved is the practice owner?
As much as they want to be, or as little as they want to be. Right? We have some people that want to be in every step. We have some that don't want anything to do with it, and that's why they're calling us. But we go ahead. What the difference is from them calling is we have a trusted contractor that has or vendor or handyman or whatever that we've built out over the last 9 years. They know how to work inside a veterinary hospital. What we find a lot of what we're picking up the slack on is somebody calls another facilities company and they just send whoever. 9 times out of 10, what we've seen is they don't, the person goes there, they go to the receptionist desk and they say, yeah, I'm here, but I really don't know why I'm here. That causes the chain reaction inside the hospital. Now that receptionist has to get up, go find the hospital manager. Did you call this person? Who sent them? We don't know. Is anything even broken? And then it follows that as well as, did they fix it? They were here, but we don't really know. Was it fixed? So Rhino picks up that slack. They'll know the name of the person that's going out, what time they'll be there. If they're going to be late, stuff happens. We contact them immediately. Hey, they're running late. They're in traffic. And then we do a whole inspection as far as completion photos, making sure that the hospital's happy. Did they do well? All those things we follow up on to make sure that it's done 100%.
I love this from a practice manager standpoint. Everyone always laughs at me when I said, like, what did you do during the day? And I was like, well, I can fix the toilet. I can,
Nope.
right, troubleshoot a
Yeah.
dryer that's broken. Like all of these things that I have no skill set to do. I just knew that it needed to get done. So like, this is huge to kind of outsource and the compliance because I'm assuming like, are we talking anesthesia machines?
Yeah, so we run PM schedules on everything, right? And it's all documented as far as documentation that it was completed, what the isoflurane output was the last time that they serviced that machine, all the way down to CT and MR. We do it all. So yeah, well,
The compliance aspect is huge, right? Because that's the CYA when you're in
correct.
there, just making
X-ray
sure to them.
machines. I mean, we're
Yeah.
rolling into clinics that their X-ray hasn't been serviced in 6 years, and how that gets through with the state, I have no idea.
They're
But
bound to catch up with you at some point.
yeah, they will. But it's nice to have that and take care of it. And now they don't have to worry about it or an inspector coming through or whatever it might be. And then they always have us to reach out to. Like we're always available. So yeah, it's been going really good. We're just and everybody on the team has not everybody, about 80% of the team has worked some aspect inside of a veterinary hospital before. So we have equipment specialists that, they know equipment inside and out. A lot of what we try to do is solving the issue before sending somebody. A lot of the times you find it's user error. The anesthesia machine doesn't work. Well, we run through a pressure check with them real quick via video chat or whatever, just over the phone. And we're able to not have to send somebody out there because it was just user error or something was unscrewed a little bit. But we have a bunch of protocol that we run through for an anesthesia machine to check it before, they go to use it or they're saying it's.
Are you a subscription model or like a per issue?
We are subscription. So if you're going through our full service, I'll call it. We come on site, we asset tag all of your equipment, and it gets dialed into our system. Every asset in that hospital has a QR code. So let's just say your HESCO's not working, or whatever it may be. They could take their phone, scan that QR code. We already have serial number, end of life, all the information possible on that pump, and it just tracks it in our system. We'll get it fixed. But if we keep seeing that same pump over and over again, then we can figure out something else is probably going on here. So we get on site, asset tag everything, and then do a building inspection. Honestly, a lot of what we do is facility related. A lot of these corporations are renting their buildings. They're in triple net leases. A lot of things are broken. We do a lot of work with the landlord as well, as far as helping, just kind of manage through that whole process. Cause it's always the finger pointing game at some point, like, no, that's on you, or that's on you. We help through all. And then it is a subscription if they're in our full service. It is a monthly subscription that gives them access to us 24/7, access to our database and our ticketing system, and a bunch of other little things as far as we promote PM maintenance. So there's no upcharge from us as far as our vendor going out. They pay the straight price that we get to have their stuff preventively maintained, including HVAC as well.
Yeah, you just opened up another idea. I wasn't even thinking that avenue. I was always assuming, the current practice owner, but this could be a great solution for the practice owner who has sold, who's retained the building, who truly wants that building to now be a passive asset where they can kind of be, hands off, minds off. You and your team come in and kind of be that solution for when something does happen.
Yeah, we do quite a bit of work for a few REITs as well, like that own the buildings. We get it from both sides, really. It was just right place, right time, kind of an untapped market, to be honest with you. There was just nobody specializing in what we do. And we have a lot of great people on the team. We just hired a new director of operations who has even more experience than me building and been in the vet industry for about 25 years. So yeah, we're happy to have him for sure.
What do you see as the most neglected, abused piece of equipment or part of the facility? There's got to be something that comes up time and time again, and you're like, you should have cleaned the lint out of the dryer, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of HVAC stuff. People forget HVAC stuff. And then I think it's a confusion like, oh no, the landlord does that. But meanwhile, nobody's touching it. And then it becomes really bad because you have a hospital packed full of patients, clients, all of these things. And it could have been something simple as just the PM maintenance, but nobody's touched that at all for a very long time. So.
Probably guilty of that.
And then we see our biggest, if you work specialty, the Snyder units are always everybody's biggest. The ICU cages, those are everybody's biggest pain. I associate them with like an old Chevy. You got to just like tinker with it a little bit and keep it maintained a little bit, and they run pretty well, for sure.
We're talking a lot about what your website suggests is like hard services, but Rhino's even offering the soft services. What do you mean by like the landscape and the janitorial? Is that something again where you just put boots on the ground to maintain that on a weekly basis?
Correct. I mean, we'll go out and wash doctors' cars if that's what they're looking for. So we'll pretty much, or what, technician, hospital manager, whoever's car, we'll go and wash. We just want to be that one-stop shop, and we're having good success at it. We don't want them to have to go anywhere else because that's the whole thing, right? Trying to find that good vendor, trying to find that we already have it. And if we don't in that area, we vet vendors. We ask for a very high amount of insurance for them to work with Rhino facilities. We have a subcontractor agreement in place as well with anybody that we send out there. So it's a lot of back end work. Also, what it does for corporations and moms, we pay the bills, but you're just getting one bill from us. You don't have to worry about all the other stuff behind it. So the corporations really enjoy that. Their AP departments, I'm sure, enjoy that as well because we gather it all and just send an invoice from Rhino. We handle our vendors.
I would think that's a huge luxury because nowadays you're always, is this a good bill or is this inflated by, 20, 30%? You're vetting all of the providers. So you kind of know that the rates are going to be at least market rate and no one's really taken advantage of there.
And usually we get way better pricing because we're using the same people over and over again. So in that region, if we have a great electrician, we're going to use them over and over again if they're fit big enough. But and their reach is long enough. But for the most part, it is. And now we're getting, also they're picking up right away for us, right? They know that there's going to be instant work directly after somebody from my team calling. They're on site immediately. But it's taken a long time to get that network put together for sure.
Do you include IT too, or is that out of network?
Yeah, well, yeah, we don't touch IT. A lot of corporations already have an internal IT department. We do help. We do end up doing like Cat 6 line. We'll run Cat 6 lines and data lines and things like that. I do want to touch on real quick, if we have time though, we have a whole nother side to Rhino facilities. So we build as well. So we'll do everything design build. So we will build you a whole entire hospital. We have architects, engineers. We have contractors throughout the country that I've built with, that have built with Rhino, and we'll run your whole entire project. We've found that a lot of corporations want to do renovations. They want to expand their hospital. They want to build a hospital, but don't have the team to do that. It's a lot, right? It's a lot managing that whole entire project. So we'll do everything from design to certificate of occupancy, also move you from your existing hospital into your new hospital. So we do it all. Yeah. We have a construction team, actually. We have a construction department. So yeah.
That sounds
What,
like
what have you seen? Yeah, my gosh. What have you seen in that space? Because obviously, we have a lot of practices that are looking to,
Yeah.
buy and build.
Yeah.
What's the timeline? What are some of the, don't do this when you're thinking about building a building like this?
Yeah,
Is
don't get
not
into-
not good money spent.
Yeah, have somebody manage that contractor, to be totally honest with you. I've been picking up a lot of nightmares, unfortunately, with privately owned practices. They get into they don't even have an AIA contract. That's like a general document that you need to protect yourself. They're not even filling this out. I have one in San Francisco here that she went on a time and material. She's about $300,000 over. She now has 2 practices and does not know how she's going to pay that money owed to that contractor. So we're going out there on Friday to try to figure out how we can help her. So my main thing is have somebody manage that project. I know it's at an expense. The other thing is though, sometimes you'll end up paying so much more in change orders, right? Because it wasn't on the plans, or we changed this, or this needs to happen. We manage all that. So we're going to push back on that contract. You're like, dude, that's not reality, And these are people that we've worked with already. Doctors are doctors, right? And they should probably stay doctors. And they're really good at what they do. They're not good at building hospitals. I'll state that. There might be some out there. I shouldn't say that. There might be some out there that are great at building hospitals. But for what I have seen is they're phenomenal doctors, and it's better for somebody to be managing that whole entire project rather than them. They're there to save.
Talk about that real quickly on that overage. As well as you can manage it, should you always build a budget with 10% reserve, 15% reserve, or is it higher?
Yeah, I would put contingency of like 10% usually would be good. And then through that process, it's great because you're not always going back to them like, hey, we have this $2,000 thing here, or this $3,000, and it kind of just rolls through, right? A lot of the times though, I would say about 10%. I'd probably put on top of that for sure.
I had to ask, and this is totally switching gears, but before we jump off, I need to know which was harder. So you said you were in the military and you did
Yes.
overnight shifts at the ER.
Overnight shift at the ER.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, or equal, but yeah, it was, it's hard. I did it for many years and realized we're not supposed to be awake overnight. Right. So you become very strange. I think I'm still strange, but strange for a few years. Yeah, you're going home when everybody's going to work, you sleep all day, and then you're up all night, and you see the craziest stuff throughout the night, right? At the ER. I mean, the people, the cases. So I don't know. Probably the ER was harder than the Marine Corps, I would think, possibly. Different.
I appreciate that answer. I bet a lot of us could relate to that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Andrew, what's the best way for prospective clients to reach out and find Rhino facilities here?
You could go to our website. There is a QR code on there as well that you can scan, or info@rhinofacilities.com.
Info@rhinosfacilities.com. Excellent. Andrew, really appreciate the time learning
Thank
more
you for
about
having me.
Rhino. And
Yeah.
we'll be talking to you soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day.
You take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.